In this video, you're going to see a day that started super slow quickly turned into incredible excitement. So this trip was on Father's Day, which actually was my first Father's Day, so I was very excited to get out on the water. We started inshore, total bust. We went to some nearshore reefs, which is what we're doing right here. Normally this is just tried true. I get results bouncing and prawn jigs on the bottom, but this was a total bust, and I was starting to believe that this was just not going to work. My first Father's Day was going to be a fail, but the last resort was on the way back. We went and cruised the beaches for some tarpon, and this is where it all changed. After just a short cruise along the beach, we found a group of tarpon, and although we had some crabs in the live well, I wanted to see if this prawn would work. This is by far my most trusted for juvenile tarpon, and here is my first cast that I got up into a school of these bigger ones, and now I have my new favorite lure for big tarpon. As you'll see here in a second, this is just straight retrieve. I'll show some more footage. Pure stick, straight retrieve. These tarpon absolutely dominated. Oh, there we are. Nice. Awesome. That was cool. Awesome. It just spit it, but they at least hooked it.
Yeah, man.
That was a big tarpon.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
After a really slow morning, that tarpon hookup was incredibly exciting. So I wanted to see, okay, was that a fluke or not? We actually talked to a couple other people that were fishing. They were using live crabs, which is known to be the best bait, and nobody was getting any luck. And so, okay, maybe that was just a fluke. So we got up onto another school of tarpon, and again, same thing, a nice straight retrieve, got the job done. What you'll see is you'll see a couple roll here in a second, right in the middle of the screen, and I make a cast over them, reel through, and game on. Ooh. Yeah, so in this retrieve, I was experimenting with a couple of just slight twitches. That was really just to help it kind of glide through the water column. I was letting it go and then sink a little bit and then do another little run. And again, once I straightened it out after this next twitch, I felt a thump. Nice, another tarpon. That was awesome. On the prawn. We can go ahead and turn the troll motor off. Get with the big motor. Yep. For many years, I used to always think that I have to have like an 8,000 plus size reel with a really broomstick rod for tarpon, and obviously that does help, but it's definitely not needed. This is a 4,000 size spinning reel. This is the Saltist MQ. This is an excellent reel with 30-pound braid, and this rod is actually a pretty light tackle rod. It's granted it's a medium heavy rod, but it's only 5 ounces. This is a very lightweight rod. This is a finesse type setup, and this proved to pack a punch on this tarpon. So what I'll do is I'll walk through this footage and share some tips on how to speed up the process of actually landing a tarpon. For many years, I would fight tarpon around this size. This is about an 80-pounder for like 40 minutes plus, even with heavier tackle. And I've learned some tips over the years fishing with multiple guides on how to land these tarpon much faster. Total fight on this one was just 22 minutes, even with this light tackle. So tip number 1 is don't be afraid to palm the spool a little bit. As you can see, I'm just slightly have my finger on the spool to just make sure that I have a little bit more resistance, but I quickly take it off when I can feel the tarpon is making a run. Here is where you can see and hear what's happening. Ooh, not ready yet. Tip number 2, and this one's actually more important, is to fight the tarpon with the butt of the rod, not the tip. You should never have this rod, even 90 degrees. Definitely don't go over 90 degrees. But as you can see here, right, I have my rod really only at like the butt of the rod is at a 30-degree angle to the tarpon most of the time, right? Most of the power is at the butt of the rod. So make sure to use that when you're putting pressure on the fish. Tip number 3 is to give them different angles. As you can see, right, I was going to the left, now I'm pushing over to the right. I'm trying to go against whichever direction they're going. It made a turn, so I went the other direction. That got them mad. That wears the tarpon out much faster than they would otherwise. So here's the final stretch when I got it up to the boat. Again, same thing, right? I was just trying to go against whichever direction it was going, and here's where I got my my leader touch to make it an official catch.
All right, it's a catch. Good job, Luke.
Once I got the leader touch, I put max pressure, I tightened down the drag, and knowing that with 30-pound leader, I probably wouldn't get a hand on it, so I decided, okay, it's just better off to break it off, make sure the sharks didn't get it. We had to go back in right after that tarpon. I just wanted to show off this gear because if you're like me, for many years I struggled with tarpon, both big and small, and these prawn lures have changed the game for me. This bigger one is what I was using this trip. This is the original on a 1/4 ounce jig head. And so far, every time I found tarpon, whether they're from about 7 feet of water down to 15, this has been working great. For the juveniles, I used the junior size on an 1/8 ounce jig head, and it has been shockingly good. As far as equipment used, I do not recommend this for tarpon. That was not the plan. I was going after snook this day, and we stumbled upon the tarpon, but this 4,000 size reel packs a punch. This thing is awesome for snook, overslot snook and reds. This is fantastic. It also can handle tarpon, as we saw here. 30-pound braid, and then this is the medium heavy slot machine. By far the nicest rod that I've ever used that can handle the overslot snook and overslot reds. And I was very pleased with how it handled against the tarpon. I do not recommend this rod for tarpon. It's only 5 ounces. It is super lightweight, but at least proved to be strong enough to get a big fish to the boat. If you want to test out this gear, it's all available at fishstrong.com. This rod and the lure, the jig heads, it's all custom. That's the only place it's available. These reels, of course, can be found pretty much anywhere. But again, most importantly is the rod. This is awesome, the medium heavy slot machine. I absolutely have been blown away with it. And members actually save $100 off the rod and then 20% off of the lures and line. So any questions at all, comment down below. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you again soon.